The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on the PS5 Pro runs at 4K FPS using PSSR. Interestingly, this new patch serves as an unexpected benchmark for consoles, as the original PS5 modes are still accessible on the PS5 Pro, which creates a unique opportunity to directly compare the Pro and base PS5 while playing a Pro enhanced game. If we go to options and display, we can actually switch between the rendering modes of the Pro to performance and fidelity. These are the original PS5 modes, so really good that we can actually compare these, and we can even switch the frame rate on or off, because it shows a massive difference in a minute when we take a look at these different modes, particularly the fidelity mode. But we'll start off with the Pro mode. Enhanced rendering on PS5 Pro console, rendered at 1440p, then output of 4K with PSSR, target 60 frames per second. Then we'll take a look at performance mode, because this is going to be the same kind of FPS, and we can compare the graphics, how sharp they are, the detail and things like that. And then we'll switch to fidelity mode, and then actually take a look at the unlocked frame rate on or off, because could be a bit of a game changer, because fidelity mode on the PS5 still ran or targeted 30 frames per second. Remember, this was a PS4 game originally as well, which is absolutely nuts. It looked stunning on a PS4. It was like really good. It was like really pushing that machine to the limit. But we can switch that unlocked frame rate on. So I do have a TV that can do it. So we'll take a look at all these things. But let's start off with the Pro mode. So PSSR. This is a good place to start, because basically we can just have a little look at the sharpness of the graphics, now smooth it looks around. There's a lot of foliage going on in this opening scene. There's some nice water reflections. There's a lot of detail going on, which is a good place to actually compare the graphics. Let's have a little look around. So yeah, it's very sharp, very detailed, and very nice in this Pro mode. So let's switch immediately over. Just looking into the distance, see how sharp and clear it is, and change the display to performance mode. So this is like the PS5 equivalent, and it is immediately much softer looking. It's almost like a slight mist has descended compared to what we're looking at a minute ago. It may not be as obvious watching a YouTube video, because YouTube does compress the image, and if you're looking at it on a phone, it's going to be like even smaller and less obvious and things like that. But trust me, in real life, on a 4K HDR display, it's still lovely and smooth. It still is smooth, it still looks good, but there's a certain lack of detail now. It's like the image does look softer because of that. We've lost some little bit of resolution, and some detail and sharpness has definitely been lost. I think I could blind test these with 100% confidence that I'd notice immediately what was the difference between the Pro mode and the normal mode. If I switch back to Pro mode, yeah, there's a big jump up in detail and sharpness. It really is. Wow. Like I say, it may not be immediately apparent watching this on a compressed video format like YouTube, but in real life it is very clear and obvious. Like there's detail on the horse there, on its I don't know what you call it, the thing that goes around its neck to hold the saddle in place. It's got little tiny like studs on it or something. You can see them crystal clear and sharp as anything in real life when watching this. And let's stick it back to performance mode. And they're still there, but they're just not as crisp or defined as they were before. So Pro mode, definitely a nice enhancement there. But let's take a look at this fidelity mode. I'm going to leave the unlocked frame rate off for a minute. So this is like the equivalent of the PS5. I think it is fidelity mode, where it's looking as good as it could at the cost of frame rate. But I'm just not a fan of 30 frames a second. Some people, they can't tell the difference between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second. Other people are very sensitive to it. I'm one of these people that can really notice the difference. To me, that is drudgery. It's not very nice to look at. I'm not a fan of playing games like this at all, like this. 60 frames a second plus is the way to go for me. Really like it. And it does still look pretty sharp. It's a nice looking game. Like the detail has come back to a certain degree. Somewhere between the Pro mode and the performance mode, I would say. But just not a fan of 30 frames a second. So what I'm going to do now is actually compare this with the unlocked frame rate on. You need a capable TV to do this, but let's take a look now. So this is Fidelity mode, but unlocked. And that is a lot better. Some of that judderiness has been lost, which is good, while maintaining the detail that we were looking at a minute ago. So how does this compare to the Pro mode? Because some people don't like PSSR. It's a little bit hit and miss on some games. Sometimes it works really well. Other times it's not that great at all. But remember, it is a brand new technology. It's still in its infancy, and it will get better as time goes on. But I think this is one of the games where it works really well. So let's take a look at this. This is Fidelity mode unlocked frame rate. I mean, I could play this. I think I'd be happy playing this. There will be times when the scene gets busier or more detailed where maybe that frame rate drops down a bit, but this to me is perfectly okay. I could play this. So let's take a look now at the Pro mode. But that is even better. Yeah, the frame rate is just much better still. And the detail for me is sharper still. Even better. PSSR sharpening things up, adding more detail, which we couldn't see before. So yeah, so let's get a bit of a move on. Let's take our horse for a little trot. Yeah, beautiful looking game this really is. Must confess I've not actually played this one all the way through yet. The first one, I absolutely loved it, The Last of Us. Fantastic game. A little bit dark and morbid in places. This is maybe a good place to check out the foliage effect again. So, Pro mode, with some light beaming on it. There's none of that shimmer from PSSR, which you get a lot of the time with this kind of scene. There's no jaggedy edges on the grass. The foliage looks really good and pretty natural, to be honest. Love that lens effect flare in the background as well. Yeah, this is a really good looking game. Alright, let's switch this now to what should we look at next? Let's go to performance mode. Yeah, that is a this is more noticeable than that scene I was looking at a minute ago. This now the grass looks kind of soft. Compare that foliage and the lens flare effect. It's got nowhere near the sort of same sharpness and cutting edge about it as it had a minute ago. I mean, this is still perfectly playable. If you haven't got if you're used to playing this on a PS5 Pro, this is still really good on a base PS5. Like really nice, but this is all about, is the Pro enhancement worth it? Is it another game to play on the Pro, which is worthy of the Pro enhancement? And if you love this game, then yeah, this is for me definitely another game worth adding to that Pro enhanced list, because this is good. It is, but it is so much softer. It is really soft compared. It really is. Let's just take a look at Fidelity mode now. We'll leave that on. It's only fair because we've got a capable display. But remember, if you didn't have a 120 Hertz VIR display, I think that's what you need to get that working. Then you do lose that nice smooth, that buttery smooth frame rate. Let's turn that frame rate back on again. Unlocked frame rate even. Yeah, this is really nice. Like this, with the unlocked frame rate turned on, it still looks pretty sharp, but it's not quite as good as the Pro mode for me. This might be a good little place to stop and have a little look around as well. Lots of detail in that scene in the distance. The mountains and the sky. The foliage that's moving around. Right, let's switch back to performance mode again. Still leave the unlocked frame rate on because it doesn't really affect the image that you're looking at regarding the visuals. Yeah, same as before, what we're getting, but it does. This looks actually quite a lot murkier. That town or city, whatever it is below there, looks kind of a lot smudgier compared. And those trees or pines, whatever they are in the distance there, in the mountains, look kind of just like green sticks compared. There's no real detail there at all. Yeah, let's just go back to Pro mode. Ah, so much sharper, it's nuts. Yeah, this scene really shows the difference. Looking at those pines, whatever they are, those trees in the distance, in the mountains, they're now like clearly more individually defined. Much better looking. Again, I'll say it one more time. If you're watching this on YouTube, which you obviously are, especially on a smaller display as well, you're not going to be seeing some of this difference, I don't think, because YouTube is a compressed video format. You're not going to see the 4K HDR images well as I'm seeing it now. But believe me, this is another very worthy PS5 Pro enhancement. Yeah, these the whole thing, the colours, the lighting, this looks absolutely fantastic, and it's so sharp and detailed. Definitely a cut above the base PS5. Not knocking the base PS5, you know, it's a fantastic console still. I've still got two of them. I've got two base PS5s and a PS5 Pro, and still use the PS5, the base ones. They're just in different arcade cabinets and race cabs and things like that. But this is all about looking at the PS5 Pro version of games and seeing if they're a worthy enhancement over what we've experienced so far on the base, the PS5. And this is definitely another really good one. So we look at this scene here with the water. There's some nice reflections going on down to Joel's left and things like that. Very clear, looks really nice. That's like crystal clear. This part here, we can see the pebbles and stones through the water just over his shoulder. Looks really fantastic. Where the light is hitting the grass and the rocks, looks really good. The flow of the water looks nice. Where the light's glistening through the trees. Well, I'm getting a little bit carried away here. Let's take a look at the other modes quickly. Let's go to performance mode. I think performance mode is the one people would use the most if you haven't got a TV that can do the uncapped frame rate. It's still good. It's definitely still good. It's just lost that sharpness and definition and overall clarity. Like the pebbles, you know, you can see in the water there. They're still clear, but it's just not as lifelike. It's not quite as sharp and clear as it was a minute ago in that Pro mode. So the Pro mode definitely doing the business on this game. Let's just compare now to the Fidelity mode. Still with the unlocked frame rate on. Yeah, see, that looks really good. That's like comparable easily to the Pro mode. So Fidelity mode, if you can have that uncapped frame rate on, this is still a really nice way of playing it. If you're not a fan of PSSR, if you can see the odd flaw in PSSR now and again, then this is still a really good way to play. I did notice a slight frame rate thing there, but it didn't look quite as smooth as... Yeah, it's still not as good as Pro mode regarding the frame rate. Obviously, that's due to what's going on in this scene here. Look at this, because there's the waterfall going on. You got this water flow happening. Got a very detailed scene. You can see that's not 60 frames a second when I move backwards and forwards there, even with the uncapped frame rate turned on. If we turn this now to Pro mode, that's loads smoother. So yeah, so if you've got PS5 Pro, then I've got no issue with this. Look, this is a PSSR game. Like I said before, it is a little bit hit and miss on some games, how good PSSR is implemented, but it's not largely PSSR's fault all the time. I think it's something to do with the way the developers use it, otherwise it wouldn't be quite so hit and miss, but it works an absolute treat in this game. This looks fantastic. And isn't it, you know, people, you know, say constantly, like, oh, the PS5 Pro's not worth it, sort of thing. It's like, it's not worth 700 whatever for that little bit of extra clarity. But A, it's not that extra little bit of clarity and sharpness in one game. It's across many games. B, you're getting a huge improvement to just about every PS4 game that exists. Like, they really are noticeable. The loading times in the PS5 Pro just leave the base PS5 in the dust a lot of the time. Some games massively faster loading. You've got the extra SSD space, which I absolutely love. I don't know how I'd go back to a 800 and something size SSD now. It would be quite restrictive going back to that, I think. You got a brand new console with a brand new warranty and Wi-Fi 7 and all the rest. So for me, it's not just about the games having a little bit of extra clarity and stuff like that. Oh, this looks great. It's all them things combined, which for me make it a very worthy purchase. Again, it is each to their own though. I can see why people wouldn't think it's good value. I can see why people can think it is. Each to their own. Right, so let's just make a bit of a racket on a guitar and record a video a day. So yes, I think it's a really good, worthwhile addition to the PS5 Pro range of different games. And yeah, absolutely love it. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.